Everyone has a unique book of life known as Akashic Records. Welcome to today's Spiritual Mastery interviews with Akashic Record readers, guides, and practitioners. Hello and welcome everyone to Spiritual Mastery and the Akashic Collective. This is the interviews with Akashic Record practitioners and readers, and I am super jazzed and excited to bring this awesome guest to you today. Today we are going to be meeting with Nikki and Shawn Smith, so if you are here tuning in, give these two lovely people a wonderful round of applause. All right, welcome guys. It's so great to see you. I'm so happy that you're here and that you are sharing your beautiful light and messages with the world. So Nikki and Shawn, I am curious to know more about you. You guys are a bit of a mystery to me, and I keep uncovering layers and depths of your individuality, your togetherness, and you are really awesome people. So for those people who are in the Akashic Collective community, the YouTube world, who may not know who you are, please fill us in. Tell us about what you are all about in the world.
Wow, thanks, Anne, so much. And thanks for having us. We're really grateful to be here with you and have so much time with you, and excited to tell you all about this type of stuff. Nikki?
Oh, Shawn first.
Oh, me first.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and tell us about yourself. Sorry. You got to edit this. You got to ask John to edit this. Yeah, we're two people waking up, in process of waking up. And we've been through many different incarnations in this lifetime. And it's really interesting and exciting and fun to be in this expansion that we're going through right now. We like to grow plants. We have a whole balcony full of plants. And we're also really excited to open up to our spiritual gifts, our consciousness gifts. We're basically working with that every single day. And we've been so grateful to be part of your community, Anne, as well, and to learn from you. And that's for me.
Yeah. Hi, Anne and everyone. So thank you so much. And so I'm Nikki, this is Shawn, in case you think I'm Shawn and this is Nikki. Teasing.
Figure it out.
Yeah. So we are in Santa Monica, California, and we have been traveling around, but finally we kind of like this place, this area, and so yeah, like we are super excited to be here today, and would love to share all the wonderful things that happen to us, and love to share that gift to everyone. So yeah, that's
awesome. You guys, that's such a great journey. I've seen you guys just evolve, blossom, and grow. And you have this fearless courageousness when it comes to new information. And I often make these comments like, oh, Nikki is such a tech wizard, or oh, Shawn, you're so effortless at delivering this stuff. You've been such a great conduit for the Akashic Records. So I'm curious to ask you both how your spiritual journeys started, and if when you met each other, that journey evolved and grew, or if it was like it triggered that awakening together. So fill me in.
Yeah, those are great questions. And Nikki and I think we both have an independent story of the spiritual journey. But I'm glad you brought up the shared aspect, because there is a tremendous amount of that. And especially in the last year, I would say, it's just accelerated so much. But for me, it starts at the youngest age, right? And it's not something where I can say, oh, there's this big aha moment, but there's always this demand in me for truth. And that has always been the striving thing. And the way it manifested at an early age was in rebellion, or attempting to pull out inconsistencies in others. And that just kept growing to not necessarily attack others with that idea, but to find out what's really true. And so we've been through many iterations in this journey, gone through many different teachers, gurus, practices, and just about this application to find what is true, what is really true, and have mastery over this experience.
And okay, so for me, thank you for this question. Like I was actually thinking about it, and I think everyone is spiritual, right? So everyone, since they're born, I think everyone has a spiritual journey. And for me, I kind of noticed early on, kind of like as if I have like observer, kind of like there's a character of Nikki and there's someone else who looking at it, and I just being in search of what is it really about in this life, and I'm trying to figure out, and I have been trying to figure out. So I was so interested in all the religions. I grew up in Thailand, so Buddhism is main part. So I was dive in. I was like, I am finding the answer. I'm really trying to find the answer. So I would do like Vipassana meditation. I would do like silent retreat for like 20 days. Like I'm go all in. At a certain point, everyone around me thinking that Nikki is going to be a nun. Like literally, everyone will be like, all right, when are you going to be a nun? It's like that idea of me really like trying to figure this out and really going at it. And I think it has always been that journey, even when I'm not really quote unquote spiritual, right? Like doing the work, doing the career, working is always, learning and trying to figure out what's the truth. So I think your question, like when I see Shawn, and because he's really aligned to the truth, and for me, I want to find the answer. It's actually helping us in growing that, because sometimes he will ask me more questions, like, is it true, right? And then I'll be like, oh yeah, that's not true. Like I'm just like making it up. It may be my program or my illusions of something, and then he will be like digging it for me. So it's actually help each other in alignment of finding the answer, finding the truth. And so that was the journey. But yeah, like last year, the COVID 2020, this is like the best time, because it gives so much room for us. Like we work so hard in the business side and on the world side of things. And so when the COVID hit, it really gave us a time and space to kind of like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's like it asks a lot of questions. Yeah.
Now that's a great place to actually lead from, because for anybody who's watching this video, they might be in a place in their life where they're thinking, what am I doing? Where am I going? What is my truth? So if there was a new person, if there was a person that was just coming onto this video and coming up to this question, what would you offer as 3 suggestions for somebody who is searching for that answer?
Yeah, I think the very first thing, and I'll let you give your answer, but first thing I would say is, what are you feeling right now? And the reason I ask that question is because we're often here, and we're often thinking about what we're supposed to be feeling, what we're supposed to be saying, what we're supposed to be doing. And this is a way of being not present. Even though we could say like, I'm present, I'm present, I'm present. We're present when we actually are in the body and we're feeling the body. And so when you say, what do you feel right now? Usually the first answer will be like, well, I'm feeling like I need to say something. And this is a great thing, because when someone says that, what they're doing is they're describing what they're thinking about how they're feeling. They're describing the story that's going on. Yeah. And so when you can help them see, okay, that's a story. Tell me how you're feeling. And what we've found through a lot of this is most of us have been so distanced from what our feelings are that we're unable to actually voice what they are, right? So what are you feeling? Okay, I'm feeling nervous, or I'm feeling scared. Okay, now we're getting some ideas of language around what we're actually feeling. But now that we know what that language is, tell me where you feel it. Where in the body?
Where's in the body? Yeah.
Right, because feelings are simply chemical messengers sent through the body to translate vibration that we're in, right? So this is happening in the body, but I'm asking you how you're feeling, and then I hear the story, which is totally normal, because that's what we've done. We've become intellectual beings, right? Intellectual minds. So we're saying, well, I'm feeling like I really need to take care of that thing right now, right? Again, that story. But what's behind that? What's the feeling? Could be agitation, could be unsafe, right? Could be any of those things. Now, where is it in the body? Because this is the place in your field that it is stored, that it exists, and then it can be released from. So I forget the question now, but you asked what questions?
3 steps, 3 things, right? But yeah, like add on to what you're saying is just to know that you are not it, right? Like I'm the one who used to identify like, oh, I am angry, but it's not you. Angry or frustration is just an energy, and you are just a fork tuning or a conduit to carry that. Or like you're wearing a vest that call, let's say, angry, and so it's actually not you, because you're the one who observe it, you're the one who know it, therefore you're not it, and therefore you can release it. So just to know that it's never you, it's not you part, right? So then you can release that. You can choose, you can like, okay, do I need to keep this energy around me, or I can move it out, right? It's that.
And Nikki expressed the third step there, which is once you have awareness, once you are aware of what is being expressed by you, and you now have that distance to know that is not you, now you have the ability to choose, right? And this is true for all of us in every moment. We're always in choice, but most of the time we're unconscious that we're choosing. So once we've gone through these steps, you can go, oh, wait, so this anger, this agitation, this story that I have is not me. Well, then I can choose a totally different experience.
Yes. Okay. I added on to that because I was working on this, like even the last year, right? I was aware of these. And I think this is the third one is the leap. That is to me, because like Shawn will be like, Nikki, you're angry right now. And I was like, I know, but then I'm choosing though. Like it's kind of like, I don't want to let that go yet. Like it's so,
What you would say in the past was, I have all the rights.
I have all the rights to be angry. That person really pissed me off, right? All these things. And it was a leap of, do you really want to dwell in this? Or you want to raise your vibration and move out of it? It is a choice to take a leap. And at the same time, you're not getting mad. Like I had that issue too. Like I'm mad that I'm angry. Like you're not condemn what your feeling is. It's allowing it to be. I think it's also a process of allow, like, oh, I'm angry. Okay, all right, okay. Do you want to release it now? No, I want to stay with it for 5 more minutes. All right, that's fine. Like it's more like that, and allow the process to go.
I really like that aspect of this conversation that you bring up around allowing, because a lot of people don't realize that you can let go of something, but you can also choose to hold on to that very thing. And we're in a trance program around that. And I'm curious to ask you guys, how do you break free of the trance?
Yeah, the first thing I would say for me is the feeling. So, for example, something occurs in the moment, right? Let's say, my neighbors, they have a child who they play baseball in the backyard, right? And sometimes those baseballs go up on our balcony and they might hit the plants, right? So I'm just giving an example.
Yes.
And let's say there is an agitation. Any movement by me, it'll manifest, right? It'll manifest as Shawn getting up and closing the door, Shawn getting up and swearing, Shawn getting up, or even not even getting up, thinking that's not okay, right? So this is the manifestation of what we're believing, but we're unconscious. So in that moment, we're triggered. And this is a fantastic thing. A lot of people, I'm sorry, I don't know. In the past, would ignore triggers, right? I wasn't even unaware of this concept of triggers a handful of years ago.
Yeah, wow.
And now it's like triggers are the gateway.
Yes.
Triggers are the thing that opens the door to awareness and consciousness.
Yes. Totally.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. In that moment that the trigger occurs, we go, oh, what am I feeling? Let's sit with this.
Is it true?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the story,
Right.
the story is usually covering the emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'm in a past life, as in like many years ago, I was a programmer, right? So I see this thing is almost like you download a program, and when something trigger, like normally you don't know that it's running in the background.
It's an automation.
Yes, and then with something trigger and this thing is running like, and then it's give you availability to see, oh my God, I'm running this program that doesn't make me feel good. And then you can decide to delete it, right? Like that, or you can ignore it. You can ignore it, then it go away and it hide in the background again. Or you can like, oh, I'm going to clean this program, on my computer. I download randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Someone told me to download this, and it just doesn't help me anymore. Then you delete it.
I want to add two things to that, because the computer thing is a really good metaphor. Mm-hmm. What else do people do with the programs on their computer? They may hoard them. Mm-hmm. They may store them. Mm-hmm. They may keep them in a folder that they don't look at, but they don't want it to be let go. And I bring that up because sometimes we're aware of our programs and we actually identify with those programs.
Yes.
It's like you still have Photoshop CS6. That's 10 years ago. You could get the web one, but no, I'm holding on to this one because it's right. Right. So when we
identify with this,
use it. I know.
Yeah, I know how to use it. Totally.
Exactly.
And it's me.
Gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So if it's me, as soon as I say, well, why don't you go to the web suite? Well, because I use this one. Right. So now I'm defending. Exactly. And so as long as I'm defending my computer RAM, right, if we use the computer metaphor, the RAM is being taken up by all these old programs.
Slower and slower over time. You guys,
Mm-hmm.
What we are just having right now? It's one of these. A total aha moment. You just revealed something that if you're watching this video right now, please get it. If you've downloaded anything ever from the internet and you realize that program has an actual back area where you can mess with the code, aka Nikki, that means you can affect the outcome of the way the program runs. So we are talking really high level stuff here, guys, because first of all, there's a lot of people who are in a trance, download stuff all the time, don't even realize that it's on their system. So for example, I'll use my phone as an example. I have apps that somehow I downloaded when my daughter was 8. All this stuff in the background. And what that's really is an undercurrent program that somehow still has me seeing her as a child. So what it is actually an invitation of is to upgrade the program to the current operating system so everything is flowing with the moment now. Am I hearing you correctly? You guys, if you are listening to this was not a planned discussion. We didn't script this. This is a conversation that the record keepers really felt like now had to be heard because this is what people are dealing with. And to bring it to the conversation of, it's just like when you download this, or you download this, or you download this. And how many people do you think back up on a regular basis? So I want to invite you guys to bring this to even a higher level. You've just given us the steps. You downloaded this program, you can change the code, the program will run again. But for someone who's actually listening to this and they're saying, but man, if I erase those programs, what if they take out parts of who I am?
Yes.
So talk about that.
Well, I think, okay, so then you have to get back. A lot of time when there's a claim like that, right? It's normally is claiming in fear. It's almost like, wait, but how am I protect myself, or how would I shape me, right? It's instead of aligning to the truth, which is you are everything, and you don't need to shape who you are. You are already everything, and
That's a big
I'm
one
trying
for
to,
people to try to wrap
yeah.
their head around, it being enough, even.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you help someone who may feel fear, self-worth
Yeah.
issues, and even lack of confidence? So I'd be curious to ask how you could support somebody if they were in that place.
So I would say the first thing we're going to do is we're going to
Yeah.
allow spirit to speak through us, right? So in those, any type of session that we're doing, it is going to be that. Beyond that, it's only from our experience that we can express, right? Because I've learned in downloading books, reading all the books, taking all the courses, doing all these things, it's never quite applicable, because all I'm doing is replicating what someone else has experienced, right? So it'd be the same thing if I got all this data and I said, well, here's the answer, right? So when I give the answer, when Nikki gives the answer, we're giving it from what we have experienced.
My experience. I see all of these. I've been through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when someone's in fear, the first thing to observe is, what am I believing?
What am I not allowing?
What am I not allowing?
Yeah.
These are questions to start asking.
Right.
And it could be any situation, like the rent is due, right? The rent is due and I don't have the money. I'm scared. Okay. So now we could say, like, we could even start with the behavior. What's the behavior that you're observing about yourself? Could be freeze. Could be do a bunch of stuff to gather the money. It could be all of these things. And so we're starting with observing that behavior, and then what does that behavior require to be happening, right? It requires some beliefs. It requires some agreements that we've made. One, that I have to do a bunch of things in order to get money to pay the rent, right? That could be some of the agreements. It could be also the rent can't be paid, right? So if I'm in freeze, this is bigger than me. I can't make it happen.
Right. So like, what are you claiming? And you don't want to delete your program. It's like, oh, I have to be responsible and I have to do this, and I don't want to delete that. So I want to keep myself stressed so that I can have money, right? Like some people doing that, right? Like, I can't be Lala. I have to be really like this so that I can make money, so that I can pay rent, right? And it was like, but it doesn't make you feel good. But like, what is it actually you're claiming, right? Really means I have to work hard to get it. That's your claiming.
Yeah.
Somebody else can play, but I can't. That is your claiming, right? Like, it is all what we are not allowing ourselves. And so we script ourselves, like our life is scripted by ourselves. We co-creating, right? And we just decided, and I said it because I've been through this. We decided, okay, this is the way that I am. And so you're the one who allowing or not allowing what you want to experience. So a lot of them, like the fear is for me, it's more like what you are not allowing to be more. And when you move out of fear by the expansion, you will see so much opportunity.
Yes.
So
that is.
I want to say, can I add one more thing, Anne?
Absolutely.
I want to, for anyone who is listening, being beyond fear is possible. So this is like a base allowing to kind of to give yourself, right? Because if we say it's not possible, well, then there's no movement, right? Because we've just denied any type of road that way. So we have to look at what is possible first. And it's like, is the thing on the shelf? Can I take the thing off the shelf, right? If it's not on the shelf, you can't even move forward. You can't pick it up, put it in your basket, and go to the cashier if it's not there. Right. So we have to start with, is the possibility available?
Right. Okay. Yeah, I remember this. I actually was taught about the 0 and 1 concept.
Yes.
Which is when we give no possibility, it's only zero, right? It starts with zero, and energy is always in expansion. When you allow it to be one,
Yes.
that's when it expands to 2, to 3, to 4. So you need to give that possibility as one instead of zero, and the energy is always expanded.
Absolutely.
So you have to start. Yeah.
And you know, there's that 0-1 concept is very deep, because there's the on and off value of 0 and 1. And if you want to take it to the energy of sacred geometry, you could have never gotten into 1 or 2 if 1 never got birthed from 0.
Yes.
So I find this conversation so helpful, because if anybody is listening and you are in a 0 state right now, it's like you can just turn it from off and on. It's that easy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You look at your screen and you're like, camera on, camera off, mute, unmute. Now, I will say the 0-1 energy is still connected to the polarity vibration of the dimensional world we live in. And there's conversation, books, theories, classes. I even talk about this aspect of being able to go multidimensional and being able to live in concurrent levels of dimensionality at the same time. So when people are feeling like, oh, I am feeling that push and pull between a decision, what do you do when you feel that push and pull between a decision, the 0 and 1? And you're right, there is that step into the energy of possibility. But I'd like to ask you guys, what helps you make that leap of faith? Because somebody who's listening to this right now is going to hear something that will give them the courage to take that leap of faith. So what is the initiator to go from 0 to 1?
So I want to start with this 0 to 1 concept, because when we do hear this thing, we often think it's polarity. We do think it's either on or off.
Good.
But what I would say is it's actually both and, right? And what I mean by that is there's always an on. It's actually always on. We're choosing to turn off whatever it is, the current, right? So for example, we have the light switch, right? We all have, most of us will have electricity, what is the right word? Pipes through the house, right? Cords through the house, right? Okay.
It's already running.
It's already running.
Whether you're
it's already happened.
Exactly.
Right. So all I can do is cut it.
We are the one who say no.
Yes.
We always say turn it off. So it's already running. Right. You're already receiving.
A lot of us start with this idea of I don't have.
Yes.
I don't have it, so how can I get it?
Yeah.
And so from a place of I don't have, there is no possibility of growth.
Yeah.
Because it's not there.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's actually there.
It has all been there. Yeah.
Right. The sun is there, right? No one's turning off the sun. Now the earth rotates and maybe you don't see it, but it doesn't make the sun go away. So if the sun's always there, that means the light is always shining. Even when we go under a shade tree, right? When we block some of that light, the light is still happening. So someone who might be going, I need to make a decision. Okay, well, the first thing I'd ask is, do you need to make a decision? Is there a decision to make, right? Because usually that decision is rooted in something I want to happen, right? I want something to happen that's not happening. Okay, so let's say, what's a good decision here? What would be a great example of a decision someone would make? And what do you think? Like, should I date this guy or should I not? Should I break up? Should I not? Right? I'm sure we hear that.
Should we get a new job?
Should we get a new job?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
These are often questions that are denying what is available to us. Right. I need a new job. Why? Because there's no love here. Because my boss doesn't like me. Because I'm not getting paid enough. Because there's a place that's better than here. Right. So all of these things, if we say there's a place that's better than here, that means that the abundance or the goodwill or the great relationship, it already exists. Yeah. But all we're doing is saying, but it's not here. So if it's not here, then who's denying it being here? It can only be me. It can only be me choosing that it's not here. Does that make sense?
That's a stretch, Shawn, because say, I hear what you're saying. And there are some people who, when they deny the possibility of it already existing, they create a block to it appearing. But there is the true reality that someone can tell you, I want this to be here. Like, I want a Lamborghini. I want a Lamborghini
Sure.
Yeah.
porch in my driveway, but I have a Nissan. And
Sure.
that's what I'm seeing. The difference, what I'm hearing you say is the difference is that I could be looking at this Nissan and say, I'll have a Lamborghini, or a Lamborghini will be in this place, and you're one of the many vehicles that'll get me there. Or one just says, it's just not here now.
Right. So this is the possibility if we're looking at simply form, right? If we're saying I need the Lambo and I don't have a Lambo, right? So then the question is, why do you need the Lambo?
Yeah.
Just give the answer. Why? Now we could say the practical things to get here to there. We could say to look cool. We could say to attract somebody. Great. Why do you need to attract somebody?
Right.
Because I'm not worthy if I don't drive Lambo.
Yeah.
Right.
So now we're at this level of rejecting worthiness.
Right.
Okay. I need the Lambo and it's not here.
Yep.
Okay. So what we're ultimately after though is
worthiness. Right. And everyone come up with different ways. Like everything that show up there's nothing good or bad. It just basically out picturing of what you actually claim inside you.
Exactly.
Right. Like someone would say, oh, it's Mercedes and not Lambo. It can be anything, but like what is actually you are not claiming. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to get Lambo, but it actually means what is it that actually drive you to get a Lambo?
Yeah.
Right? Like someone could just say, I am in joy and I'm in expansion. I'm in love and I love driving in Lambo and it gives me so much freedom. Yeah. That is a high frequency. That is amazing.
Freedom versus it gives me aspects of self-worth.
Exactly.
There's such a difference between freedom and feeling even enough of self-worth.
Yeah.
Good expression there. Yeah.
And you know, I was taught that because like I want nice house in Santa Monica, right? And you know, and I talked to my guides and they will be like, Nikki, why? Right? And then I had to like really dig into it to like from, well, because all my friends has and I want to have it too. Like meaning like social acceptance, right? Like all these things to move. I saw myself move out of that, you know, the everyone has it, the American dream, like all these things, right? To move out until one day, I just have so much joy looking at the beautiful houses. And I look at it as a canvas and I was like, I want to share this beauty. I want a nice house so that I can create a beautiful setting for people in a neighborhood. Like it's because every house is in here is so beautiful and it's so joy for me to walk in. And I want to be a part of that community. And I talked to my guides and they was like, good, now it's lived. It's not about me not having it. I'm not worthy until I'm having it. You know what I mean? It was totally different.
Well, and I'm observing from what you're sharing, you're not waiting for this big house. You're creating the vibration of the big house in your home now. When you share videos or images of your plants and the abundance of this microgreens that you guys are growing, I feel a wealth around you because of the vitality that you're doing. And this is actually a secret manifestation trick if you are listening to this right now. And it's really about allowing you to have or envision that which you desire from a place of high vibration of freedom versus a lower vibration tied to, once I have this, then I'll get this. Because if you have it now, then it's sort of like, what else do you need? It's a game from this point on, right? So
sorry, I need to interrupt a little bit. I want to circle back to the job thing because I think some people might feel resistant to what you're talking about. So it's not, to me, to me, I feel like it's not about, okay, you know, your boss is not good for you, and like all these things that you feel like I should move, you know, I should get a new job. Because again, it's just have to dig in, like, what is it? This is a great opportunity. Everything is a gift. This is how I run my life. Everything is a gift. It's an opportunity to show what is it that we can release, what is it that trigger us. And so if there's something in here, right, such as, oh, my coworker never pay attention to me, whatever I suggest, I, you know, they never give me credit, right? That is actually your claiming, and they are the one who showed this to you. So when you keep having this claiming, it doesn't matter if you move to a new job, you will experience that until you release that, right? It will always be a repeating, a loop of learning. So it's not about, oh, everyone is horrible and this environment sucks, so I should move. It's more about, where am I in this? Like, what vibration, like, can I receive it? And it will come when you're in a right vibration. That thing that doesn't match will fall through anyway. So it's not about like the brain. It's not about like, this doesn't work, I have to find more. It's more like, lift yourself out of it, release that doesn't make you feel good, and the greater things that match your vibration will come through. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Guys, I swear, when I have these conversations with you, we go to such high levels of really awareness and bouncing off of each other as mirrors of each other, that I just am in awe of where you all at, especially at this stage in your life. You know, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was not at all even anywhere as woke or lit as you guys are. I was just in a completely different trance at that time. So I would love to know, because if any of you have just tuned in and are wondering what these two amazing beings can do in your life, they can help you flip the script, switch things from 0 to 1, off and on, and even help you discover where the feelings are stuck and where the disconnect may be occurring in the Akashic field. So I'm curious, Shawn and Nikki, what are you offering the world right now? You're both such talented beings of light. I'd love to hear what you guys are offering. What are you doing?
You first.
Okay, me first. Yeah, great. So I'm doing Akashic Records readings. You know, it's been a great journey for me to be able to step aside and allow my higher self, my guides, to connect with the guides of my clients, right? The people I've worked with, and to be able to express those things, right? It is those fundamental layers of belief in truth that are coming through me. And so when I'm working with someone, it's usually asking them to, well, rather it's their guides talking through me, asking, what does this mean? What's this all about? What are you actually looking for? And I find them incredibly compassionate. And at the same time, they want to get you to a point of awareness and truth. And they're not necessarily going to force you to do anything. They're not going to necessarily give you a bunch of steps to go apply. They're going to say, here's what it looks like. Here's what truth is. And give you this ability to see it. And then it's your choice, to choose whatever you decide to go forward with it. And, it's been a great experience for me. It's very loving for me. And I really appreciate working with all the people that I've worked with.
And you're very talented. Right. Very talented. So I just recently experienced an Akashic Records practice paired trade with Shawn, because we're in the spiritual mastery program, and didn't even show up with any questions. So when I showed up on that reading with Shawn, He blew me away. Let me just tell you guys this. He touched upon a dream, a nightmare that I've had since I was probably 3 years old. Nobody else knows about this nightmare. I don't even talk about it. But he pulled out all the elements of it to show me what was actually happening in the Akashic Records. Talk about my jaw dropping. Like, you got this super hidden, secret, tiny little thing that I don't, oh my God, it's out free. And talk about revolutionary. Now that it was out of the water, it's like, oh, I don't carry that any longer. You just needed to shine some light into that area, do a little energy clearing, and voila, here I am, still living. And thank you, Shawn, because if you are in a place where you really need that extra tune-up, boost-up, this is the guy. Now, I want to ask you, Nikki, because I know that you offer something slightly different, but you also do the Akashic Records. Please tell us what it is that you are doing and offering.
So it's a mouthful. It's etheric body tuning and chakra clearing. And funny enough, I bring that word and I talk to my guides and I ask them, and they vote for this term. So not me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, it was built upon what I learned from you, Anne, about, Akashic Records reading, how to receive the information that's not me. And, the more I'm practicing, the more I am allowing, the more I receive these like messages and things. So it happened, beside the Akashic Records reading that I normally practice with Shawn and friends. But like, I'm so pumped with this one is because there was one day I talked to Angel Michael, and my mom was sick. So I just asked him, like, can we do this? Because he's known for clearing the energy, right? Like, he's very known, and he's my guides. And I just talked to him, like, can you help me? Can you teach me? I want to do it with my mom.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I will teach you. So he, we brought into the meditation room, and he holds the space. So it's actually him who holds the space, and I'm the one who, a part of it. And he's about to, like, so I called my mom's higher self. So she came in, and he's about to, like, so I'm kind of like, I'm scanning, and I start to pick up something, right? Like, ooh, I noticed something, and I allow it to be. And Angel Michael about to teach how to clear the energy that is in the lower vibration. And I was like, well, how about I'm doing this? And then I just show up with power washing, because I'm actually love cleaning. I didn't even know this aspect of myself. I was like, I love watching YouTubes on people cleaning carpet for like 30 minutes. Like, I would be that one. It would be like, ooh, until the carpet is clean, right? Or the power washing, like gardening hose and all this stuff. Like, I don't know why.
Oh,
so
I love it.
Yeah, it just like bring us like, what if I do power washing and clear my mom? Like, I see some dirt. Like, I pick up, like, in a funny form. Like, I will see like dirts or some grime or something, like, or some cave that I have to excavate. And he was like, all right. And then I just did it, right? I was just like, I would just like bring all the tools. And once I'm done, I just showed to Angel Michael. I was like, what do you think? And he was like, unusual, but works, right? So he allowed me to play. And since then Angel Metatron also wants to be a part of. Jesus also wants to be a part of, and Angel Raphael. So all 5 of us show up. And it was so cute because it's like the most fun thing. Like, I normally learning from them, right? Like, they are going to teach me something and I will sit down, but this is almost like an activity with my guides. Like we have buckets, like we carrying stuff, it was like Angel Raphael was like, I will mop this side, and then me and Jesus will be like, I'm vacuum this area. And like, at a certain point,
oh my goodness,
he teased me. He was like, this is a community service. Like, this is like, it's a word, community service. So, okay. So that was the beginning of it. And so, I'm practicing, and I got a really great feedback from a lot of people. It was just like, Nikki, you're right on. And it makes me feel like, okay, I need to just allow more. Like I'm not making this up. And what it does is I scan the body and I kind of picked up what happening in the etheric body. And kind of like what I told you, like I see some blockages here and they will come out to me like maybe a cave, like stuck. And then I'll be like, let's excavate this thing, right? And clearing it. And Angel Michael will do like, cut the cords at the end. Angel Raphael will put the elixir in it to rejuvenate, like all this fun activity. And normally then I will talk to the higher self afterward, and they all like glowing. It's like, it's almost like a spa day for them. Awesome. And then I will also do the chakra. Like I will go to each chakra of the person, and it will show me what it looks like. Like for example, in the root chakra, right? Like some people, I went in and there's too much water in the root chakra, and I will see there's not a lot of trees in there, like a tiny tree or a little seedling. So it's like, ooh, the tree needs to grow more because it has to be in a nurture environment. Like I just pick up these things, like to be in a perfect for the root to, like, you need to ground more. Like I will receive this thing, and then we will clear it. We'll be like, okay, what should we do with this chakra, right? Like we all like clearing, making it amazing. And it was just, and like afterward, everyone is so expansive. It's just amazing. And I was just like, I'm have so much fun with this. So that's what I do.
I'm like,
it would take me like an hour.
Yeah,
it was like a real cleaning. It was like, it take me around an hour.
Yeah, because you guys are the spiritual clearing and evolution team. You are bringing it so strong, y'all. And you're bringing it on all the layers. You're not just bringing it from the physical, showing up and allowing and being conduits for spirit to do this. This is the first step, but you've also developed more and more of your own work and clearing work because you've been so open to it. So when you talk about all this stuff, you guys, if you're tuning in right now and you're just feeling stuck, confused, lost, icky, these are the people that will help you clear and evolve to that next level, because guess what? We all need people to help us evolve, and everything is a gift. These guys right here, this is the A-team. All right, so I'm curious to ask y'all, I'd like to ask, where could people actually find you?
Well, you've got it up there right now. Ever Unfolding School.
Yeah,
you got it.
Nice give yourselves job, a little bit more. So Ever Unfolding School.
Ever Unfolding.
At the Ever Unfolding School, you're going to find Akashic Record Services. You're going to find the etheric body clearing and chakra clearing, etheric body tuning, chakra clearing. And this is also a way that you can reach out to Shawn,
me,
and Nikki.
And me.
Doing these kind of pointing things when your screens are flipped, they do a thing on your head. So, oh my goodness, you guys, this has been so much fun. Seriously, I've had such a blast talking to y'all. And really, I feel like it's like a spiritual coaching call, and you guys blindside me oftentimes by just asking me a simple question like, well, how are you feeling right now about that? And I'm like, why you ask? That's very intimate. I'm feeling a little guarded. So if you are feeling a little bit guarded, know that you're absolutely in the right place, right in that moment, and just letting yourself be present with that feeling is what allows you to be able to choose to shift to a higher energy in yourself and in your body. So I really want to thank these awesome special guests, Nikki and Shawn Smith. Now, before I let you guys go, you got to talk to me about your plants. What is going on with your plant? You guys are like agents of lights when it comes to plants right now. So clue me in.
Yeah.
What's up with
this morning, actually, before we got on the call, we actually gave away, I think, 9 plants to different neighbors, just people showing up and taking them. And it's a revelation, right? It's life. And it's just so exciting for us, right? And what I want to emphasize about this, there's no plan here. We have no idea where it's going, but it's coming through us and we're allowing it.
We
And
are conduit for the expansion
So,
of
What
life.
y'all are doing is you're planting plants, or you're taking seeds, you're planting them. They're coming into little seedlings. They come out of their little growing cup, and then you give them away to people for free? Or do they buy them?
Totally.
No.
Yeah, free.
So we grew them, right? But like Shawn loves
I want to grow
growing,
everything.
right? So he was like, oh, I want zucchini and cucumber, like whatever that you think, in the grocery. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So like we have everything, like there's pumpkin and all these things, right? And so we grow them in a bunch, and then we put it in our growing pot. But then we have a lot more seedlings, and we just decided
we don't have the space,
right? We just like, hey, some people would want it.
You'll give space to grow elsewhere. Isn't that
and exactly what we are talking about, right? It doesn't have to be in energetic level. All we want is doing this, and it doesn't matter if it's our space, right? This is more in a 5D level. The expansion, the plants want to expand, and we are just conduit to it.
I gotta just do that.
Yeah.
The plants want to expand because it's healing for the earth, friends. The plant wants to expand, and they're utilizing you as the agents of light to be their vessel.
Yeah.
I love it.
And a couple weeks ago, I think I posted a photo of all the seedlings we had, and I think you made a comment, like, are you guys going to get some land and put this on there?
She was joking, yeah.
Right, joking, right? Like just teasing.
Yeah.
And in that moment, the answer that comes through in my response was like, Spirit is going to provide the land, right? It's going to grow and the land will show up.
Yeah.
And, with the next week, our landlord's like, hey, I'm going to give you a flower bed, right? So he gave us a flower bed. So there's more land that showed up. Okay, I still have more plants than that. So yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, there was no plan to give away. This is not premeditated. This is not something we're like, what are we going to do? Let's figure it out. It was just like, you know what? What if we just put these on Nextdoor and Facebook Marketplace, and then people come get them? And that's what happened.
Yes.
And so the land showed up.
Exactly.
Right? It doesn't have to be
our land.
I
think it's actually more fun for everyone's land, right?
The concept is when Spirit provides the land, by releasing the need to have your land, you are embracing the earth as our land. So whether the plant that you grow shows up in your garden, or the plant you grow shows up in someone else's garden, the plants want to connect this network to our planet. High vibe stuff, you guys. I am so in love with this concept of just gifting that which the world and the earth needs right now. And why I love this project that you guys are doing so much is it so inspires hope. If you can keep nourishing this little baby plant to become a bigger plant, to eventually either become a tree or a food-bearing bush or something, it's really special. And when you can harvest cucumbers that you free-ranged garden and didn't even know that was there, and somehow Mother Nature watered it and you get to eat it, that's when you know there is that energy that connects all of us together wherever we are. So that is the reason why I asked about the plants, because friends, if you didn't know these amazing people existed, they might have a plant coming your way, especially if you live around the Santa Monica or Los Angeles area. So thank you, Shawn and Nikki, for being such incredible agents of light in the world. I'm just so thrilled for this time with you. I just have to do one more. Woo! Give you guys a round of applause. So friends, if you are just catching this tune and you're just tuning in right now, please know that you can catch this video either in the Akashic Collective. We'll show it also on YouTube. You'll be able to find it in Nikki and Shawn's site, the Ever Unfolding School. And most of all, if you liked it, please comment, like, subscribe. Most of all, drop me a line, let me know what you think. Especially because if you need to get your life script flipped over, a plant in action, or tuned in, connect to these folks. All right, friends, take good care of yourselves. Bless up. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.